Happy Vlogmas!
Welcome back to the channel, guys.
Yeah, welcome back to the channel.
Today we are starting a new idea that we've had.
Yeah, this is going to be a new series in the coming year, and we figured we'd give it a test run during our Vlogmas extravaganza. So today we're starting with our first park, which is the Lone Mountain Regional Park. It's connected right next to Lone Mountain, so if you ever want to hike Lone Mountain, this is definitely a great place for it.
Yeah, there's over 100 parks in Las Vegas, and we hope to feature some of the bigger, more major parks and really kind of show you guys a little bit of what it's like to live in Las Vegas.
Well, yeah, that too, and for those people who are coming here on a trip, and if you're not one of them that likes to gamble, or maybe you want to get off the strip for a day or two, we want to give you some other options that really get you back to nature in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because it's really beautiful scenery here, and I think going to the parks gives you an opportunity to stretch your legs, and if you bring a pet, you have the opportunity to walk them and enjoy it. So that's kind of what we're thinking with this series.
Yeah, so come tag along with us today while we guys show you Lone Mountain Park.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this.
So here at Lone Mountain Park, there are several pavilions that are first come, first serve, and all of them have a grill, as you can see, and they're kind of spread out throughout the park. There's some that are higher up, there's some that are lower in terms of view. So yeah, make sure when you guys come out here, you guys check out the pavilions if you guys are having a picnic or a barbecue. We see lots of big groups that are out here on the weekends a lot of the time, just kind of hanging out. So it's a really good hangout spot.
Here you see the tennis courts that are the furthest away from Lone Mountain. There's always a bunch of courts available, and we've never actually been here when it's entirely covered, so this is definitely a good place if you like tennis. Now we're scrolling away to show the other path. You'll see that path right there that runs along this green space. It's supposed to be about 2 miles worth of hiking trail, so if you want a nice, easy hiking trail with a few hills that you're going to have to climb, this is a great one. Now this is the green space that connects the entire park together. Now this green space is huge. The sprinklers are on because it is really early in the morning. Just so you know, if you come really early, sometimes you'll see the sprinklers are on. But this space is used for anything from football to people lounging around on beach towels to just hanging out and watching the stars at night. I can't tell you how many times we've come to this park and seen at least 10 or 20 people just stargazing in the middle of the night because the views out here are great. There's less light and you can see the stars. Now on this side, you'll see the kids' playground. You'll see in the distance there is the restroom for the area. You'll see those pits that we talk about, and we'll talk about them a little bit later when we go on to ground level. And there's some other horseshoe pits and things like that too in this area. So this is the area that's furthest away from Lone Mountain. This is the final area. There's some more of those random pits. Seriously, if you know what they are, please let us know in the comments because I don't have any idea what those pits are used for. But they're really big and there's a bunch of them. So now we're scrolling around. You'll see the little picnic area, that blue table that's closest to the bathroom that has a bunch of tables in it. And then the children's play area. So let's go down ground level and get a closer look at everything. There's a hummingbird. He's really kind of hard to see and I don't want to get closer and scare him off, but there he goes. See him? See him right on top there? He's just chilling. Didn't even know there's hummingbirds here. So these are the tennis courts located at the end of the Lone Mountain Park facilities. Don't want to do too much to that way. Backlighting. There are actually 6 courts that you can use most days. Today they're actually reserved for a tournament. So just know that ahead of time that sometimes this and the basketball courts do get reserved. And it's very difficult to find out when they're getting reserved or not. There's no real site for that information, but just be aware that it could happen if you come here to play tennis or some basketball. They could be having a tournament. So this is the open field area. This is towards the, I guess, furthest side of the park. I think it's the south end, but I definitely need to look at a compass to make sure that that's the case. But it's the south end by the tennis courts. This is the second open area. So this isn't the one that we use when we come here the most. We actually use one that we'll show you later on. But this is the really, really large and nice open green space. And you see the sprinklers are on because it's early morning. And you'll see over there is the kiddie playland area that we'll show you in a little bit too. So here is the covered kids playground in case you want to bring your kids here. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of different stuff to do. It's got like a swinging boat, some fancy things. One cool thing to note too, on the floor, it's like mushy. So it's like really soft. So when you walk on it, you can't get hurt as easily. So you see there's one of the play sets. And then there's like a rock go through. This is pretty cool. It's like a boat that sort of aero glides. It's been locked the last couple times we're here, and it looks like it's locked again, but you know, nothing major. And then here is the covered area, which you'll also see on the drone footage that we'll show, but that's the cover. So it actually keeps it a little bit cooler. I wouldn't say it's like super cold under the thing when it gets really hot, but you definitely get a nice little cool piece to it. So this is the play area for kids. So these are the courts that we have no idea what they are, but if you know, let us know in the comments below what these actual courts are for. They're just basically long sand pits. And they're not horseshoe tossing or anything like that. We just really don't know what they are. Did someone say horseshoes? Sure did. You'll see there is 7 different horseshoe lanes that you can play at this park. And there's like a rock gravel thing that sort of boxes them in. It seems like a really tight area, I have to be honest with you. So if you're here, you know, it's kind of interesting. But it also begs the question to this area that I showed you a little bit earlier. That's that sand area. What is the point of the sand area if you have the horseshoe throwing section over here? Kind of an interesting development, right? And the horseshoe area is right next to one of the 2 bathrooms that are located on the grounds. They're very nice. They're simple, nothing super fancy. But if you need to use the restroom, there are 2 different units that are here for your use. So here's another one of the really nice areas. It's got 4 grills, so in case you wanted to do some grilling. And it's got 8 of these concrete lunch benches, I guess you want to call them. Lunch tables, I don't know what specifically, and it's under a little enclosed area. They're kind of nice. The one thing about the tables though is they do heat up in the heat, which is kind of interesting. They're kind of like nice and warm bricks, which so it gives it kind of an interesting temperature underneath the hooded areas, because they seem to retain a little bit of heat. And you'll see the grill hasn't been cleaned, but people apparently don't know how to use charcoal and put the charcoal on the top. I don't really understand that. So there are a bunch of doggy pot or doggy bags basically throughout the park. So it's really easy if you have a pet and you bring them here. There's always plenty of plastic to make sure you pick up after your pup. There is another hummingbird. I didn't even know they had hummingbirds in the desert, but apparently they do. Pretty cool, right? So this is the second piece of that large green space. You'll see that it sort of expands seemingly forever. It's a huge green space and a lot of place to rest and relax. You also see on the left side there's pavilions that have the grill and the 2 benches and a trash cans. This is typically where me and Nacia go when we visit the park. This is a little bit higher elevation, and if you look towards the city, especially at night, you'll be able to see a lot of the lights and stuff. Scrolling down right there, that is the restroom, the second big restroom. They are open 24 hours, and they are typically pretty clean. As we keep going, this is the basketball court. So there's 4 different basketball courts. There's typically, especially in the evening, always people playing a game of pickup basketball if you are just alone and want to join a game. But there's also some league stuff that happens out there as well. So you'll see the sidewalk that sort of wraps around the entire facility. Again, that's the 2-mile hiking trail that we talked about earlier that actually connects to other parks. And you'll also see in the distance there's some other pavilions. So this is the second set of pavilions that actually close into that first green space that we showed you the first time around. So this is that other green space that sort of connects the whole park. So the whole park has a green space running right through the middle of it. You'll also see some dog walkers. This is early in the morning, and every morning we've been there are a ton of dog walkers out walking their dogs. This is the trail as it continues, and you'll see this dirt path leads up to Lone Mountain, and we're about to come to a Y that will lead to another park and Lone Mountain. So let's get back to the ground. So you see there's multiple pavilions towards the Lone Mountain side of the park with a lot of different green space between it. It's a little more hilly than the first green space we showed you, but this is another green space. And you also see right there in front of the camera is the second bathroom. So that's the second bathroom in case you're interested in case you need to use the bathroom. This is the second bathroom that's here. You'll see it's a little bit backlighted because the sun's just coming up, but there are also 3 pavilions on the lower side of this green space. So it's a really nice green space. So even over here, a lot of people come here more for just kind of laying on the grass, enjoying the slightly cooler temperatures, and stargazing. You see a lot of people stargaze at night too. You'll see over there, just past the 2 pavilions, that is the first green space that we showed you. So that's how this connects up to this area. And you'll see over there the basketball courts, and we'll show you that in just a second. And again, that second bathroom facility, which is about the same size as the first one. And they're both pretty well kept and always seem to be open too. So here's what I would consider the first bathroom, but this is the second bathroom we'll be showing you. It's towards the Lone Mountain side of the park, and it is about the same size as the other one with plenty of bathroom space, and it tends to be pretty clean. So these are the basketball courts, and they have nets and everything. So there are 4 basketball courts, full courts, that you can come and play on. And that makes 8 half courts if you're wondering. But it's a pretty nice basketball facility, especially in the evenings. There are a lot of people playing. So it's easy to get in a pickup game if you're interested. So here's the triangle piece that connects both the Lone Mountain Regional Park and the Lone Mountain Equestrian Park. Now, don't be deceived if you're walking this trail. It is much longer than it appears to be, especially the connection between the 2 parks. So this is the actual trail that connects Lone Mountain Equestrian to Lone Mountain Regional. And if you're adventurous enough, you can actually come off this trail to start climbing Lone Mountain too. There's a couple little off branches that you'll see as you go through this trail to get to Lone Mountain. Now, just so you know, it's probably about a quarter to a half a mile hike between the 2 parks. And this is not where I would recommend if you were trying to hike Lone Mountain. There's actually a closer parking lot at the Equestrian Lone Mountain Park, which I would recommend that you'll see in one of our later videos. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you'll get an update when we do post that Lone Mountain Equestrian video, so you'll find out where to park to better access Lone Mountain itself. But as you see, we'll head down this trail, and it's a decent hike. The first time we did this, we really didn't think it was going to be that long, and then we were about halfway through, and we were like, wow, this thing doesn't seem to ever want to end. But it's a significantly longer trail than you would expect. and you'll kind of see in the distance there's a little sort of facility coming up in the very far distance. That's actually the Lone Mountain Equestrian, where you can bring your horse. So if you for some reason have a horse in Las Vegas, or if you brought a horse to Las Vegas, there's an opportunity to walk your horse out. So this is the famous Lone Mountain, and Lone Mountain Park is one of the 2 parks where you can actually access this mountain and climb it if you'd like to. It is definitely a trek, and it is one we are planning on getting by the end of this year. So we're super excited to be able to climb this mountain, but just so you know, this is the legendary Lone Mountain.
Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video.
Yeah, that was Lone Mountain Regional Park.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing everything that's out here. There's a ton of green space, there's hiking, there's just general walking, there's basketball courts, there's tennis courts, there's picnic tables, so there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to do here. There's horseshoe. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you guys can do here at this park, and I hope you guys get the chance to check it out. I know one day we plan on actually hiking Lone Mountain, so stick around to find that video.
Yeah, our plan is to get that done by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So definitely be on the lookout for that, and if you want to, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get that notification, because we will be
back
trekking that big mountain. We're already in our training, so we're hopefully to get there by the end of next year.
Yeah, so again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys tomorrow in our next Vlogmas adventure.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.